In this video, I'm gonna be breaking down how Shelby Sapp made $3 million in 48 hours simply from Instagram. I'm gonna show you the exact content strategy she used to build up the hype, the method she used to educate her fans, and the way she sold out her first ever conference. And if you're an online coach looking to scale past 50k per month through Instagram, exactly like Shelby did, just book in a call using the link down below. You see, Shelby sold 3,000 tickets using the strategy of hype, educate, and sell out. But how did she actually build up the hype through her content? It's by leveraging her brand, which is built around this idea of being a girl boss. You see, Shelby Sapp was always extremely intentional with the content she was posting, so over the years she developed several associations with things like lifestyle design, feminine strength, financial independence, and manifestation, which all turned into core pillars of her messaging. Now, these pillars aren't just present in her content, her posts, her stories, but also through her funnel, which allowed her to make $3 million in a span of just 48 hours. Now, the main platform she used to build up this hype was obviously Instagram, but she didn't use her main profile for it. Instead, she leveraged her company profile and collaborated with a separate Instagram account she made specifically for this conference. And here's why. This conference was never meant for her average followers. It was built for her die-hard fans. These girls literally consumed every piece of content she ever posted. They attended her webinars, and they pretty much blindly trust her. So it doesn't matter what kind of offer she presents to their face, they're gonna buy every single time. Now, the three main formats she used to build up the hype were Instagram Reels, Instagram Posts, and Instagram Stories. Now, when it comes to her Reels strategy, it's built on one of her core pillars, which is lifestyle design. If we check every single one of these Reels, they look the exact same. They have a desired text hook that essentially shows or kind of leans into that lifestyle design all of these girls that are her fans want. There's pictures rolling in the background very, very fast, and there's some sort of like a trending music in the background. That's literally all. Now, I have to say that all of these reels were probably reposted on her story just to drive up more traffic and views, and to also help grow this brand new Instagram account she made specifically for this conference. Now, if we look at her post strategy, is built on her second core pillar, which is feminine strength. And if we look at this first ever post that she put on the account, it shows exactly that. It's saying, I couldn't find a wealth conference for women by women, so I decided to create my own with billionaires, CEOs, and founders. And obviously, this ticks every single one of the boxes surrounding the feminine strength. Now, the next one was a post showcasing different billionaires, CEOs, and founders she's bringing on as guests, which is extremely strong as well. This one's more of a call to action that's just driving people to sign up. And obviously the last one, again, leaning into feminine strength by saying the biggest women's growth conference in the world and really showcasing all the guests. There's plenty of recognizable faces on it. Now, when it comes to her story strategy, it's built on the third pillar, which is financial independence. If we check, every single one of the stories is essentially just Shelby reposting one of her girls buying a ticket for this conference. And what this does, it essentially shows that there's massive demand for it. There other people are spending thousands of dollars on it. And that essentially just encourages the rest of her fan base, which is extremely loyal. And again, it pretty much blindly trusts her to just buy. It massively helps with hype, and that's pretty much all she was doing. Now, I imagine that she also promoted this conference on her main account with 1.7 million followers, but most of the reposts were done on this page. Now, the best of these stories got constantly recycled into evergreen content through her Instagram highlights. Now, obviously, the first two are just called tickets, and in there, there's just, I would say, around 200 reposts from girls purchasing a ticket for this conference. The next one is brochure, so essentially just giving these girls that purchased a lot of clarity on what to expect. And even if somebody's like on a verge of buying and they're still deciding would they do it, would they not, they can go through this brochure and decide. And obviously the last one is just a bit of support if something would go wrong. Now the main purpose of the content was to build up the hype and attract her die-hard fans through the right messaging. And you can see that her content strategy promoting this conference was built on these exact pillars that built her brand. Now, once her diehard fans consumed enough content, they progressed beyond the hype phase into the educate phase. And after going through all of her social media accounts, the only place she was really promoting this conference was at the bottom of the description of every single one of the reels or posts she posted on this brand new Instagram account she made specifically for the conference, and also on some of the reels that were collaborated with her company page. That's pretty much it. There was no many chats, no automations, nothing. Just a simple call to action to click the link in her bio. Now, obviously, once girls click this link, they were taken to this landing page. And the crazy part is, it doesn't even have a VSL. Now, the reason for that is because, as I said before, this conference is meant for her fans. And these people, these girls, blindly trust her. Like, it doesn't matter what she's gonna put in front of their face, they're gonna buy. So they're already pre-sold, they consumed all the content possible. Like, they literally did everything they could. They're following her for a year, even maybe close to 2 years, and now they're just ready to buy. Now, if we look at this landing page structure, it's very, very simple. A simple header with a call to action on top. Then we have a clear call out, headline right there in the center, really leaning into the core association of her brand, which is girl boss. And then a bit of a description, another call to action, and then on the right side, there's a lot of guests and kind of just showing their faces there as well, so they can see that it's not only Shelby, but there's going to be plenty of billionaires or very successful founders that are going to be speaking at this conference. Now, below that, we have a why section. After that, we have outcomes and really walking these girls through what they're gonna get by attending. Below that, there's a schedule really broken down nicely. Day 1, everything they get, plus outcome. Then obviously we have day 2 and day 3. Now, after that, we have even more outcomes that are more long-term based. The previous section was more like short-term wins and what they get at the conference. But obviously these are more long-term outcomes that they're gonna be able to essentially like take with them and implement in their life to get closer to the promise that was written here in the headline, become the woman who builds wealth. Now, after this, we have a section where she qualifies these fans a bit. Obviously, the people who clicked on that link already knew everything about Shelby, as I said, but it's important to have a bit of qualification and also set clear expectations. Below that, she has a big section essentially listing out every single one of the guests that is gonna be attending this conference, and a bit of a description about them as well, so like these girls can really understand what they're getting into and from who they are learning. Now, below that, we have pricing, and this is broken down into 3 different tiers. Obviously, we have a core experience for $750, a middle section for pretty much $1,200, and then we have a VIP section for $15,000. Now, the crazy thing is that there was so much demand for this conference that she sold out every single one of the tickets because the room can only host 3,000 people, nothing more than that. The only thing that was left was, I think, 6 VIP tickets. But even though like she sold like 19 tickets for 15 grand, which is absolutely ridiculous. Now, obviously, once you pressed on one of these buttons, you were taken to this page where they collected your first name, last name, phone number, and email. And obviously, by submitting this information, you were for sure added on some sort of an email or SMS sequence that just got you warmed up, and obviously all the necessary info was sent over as well. For example, when it comes to like brochures or other stuff, when it comes to like actual event details, location, and all the other things needed, more like logistical stuff to make this happen. And yeah, as I said before, when she sold out, they came up with this virtual offer for pretty much $200, where these girls could pay even though seats were taken and just attend virtually and watch the event from home, which I believe was a genius move, because demand was absolutely massive, despite not really having as much promotions as possible. Like, really, the only place she was doing the promo and call to actions was at the bottom of her descriptions and on Instagram stories. That's literally all. Now, below that, we have a Q&A section. Now, these people really don't have any objections. Like, they are so bought in, but it's more like just logical stuff and, yeah, just giving clarity, maybe even setting a bit of expectations. Now, when we're getting closer to the bottom of the page, there's a section where Shelby is essentially like future pacing and really mentioning and telling that like this is the start of something great that's gonna change your life forever, and they can really get to imagine how things are gonna look 5-10 years later down the line, because obviously part of her brand. And the fourth core pillar is manifestation. Now, at the very bottom, this is a very simple section. It looks like this and it pushes these girls to the top of the page. Now, one of the main reasons why I believe Shelby Sapp was able to make $3 million in 48 hours simply from Instagram is because of congruency. Her messaging is based on the 4 pillars that shape her brand, not only on social media, but through her entire sales funnel. So whenever somebody clicks on a post, they read the description, they read the call to action, and they click that link in her bio with a certain expectation in their mind. She delivers exactly on that on the landing page, and the chances of them ever buying is 10 times higher. Now, obviously, Shelby Sapp is an absolute genius, but the strategy she built out and these conferences are meant for 8-figure info businesses. So if you're a coach making less than 100K per month, stop looking at what Shelby is doing right now and instead look at what she was doing when she was starting out. And I can tell you what it is. She only had one offer, which was obviously high ticket sales coaching, one ICP, girls that are between 20 to 30 years old, I would say are working like a part-time or like a 9-to-5 job, and obviously are just tired with what's going on in their life, and they simply want to build wealth for themselves and live this life that Shelby is showcasing on her Instagram. And obviously she just had one funnel and one acquisition source, which was her Instagram account and nothing else. Now, if you're sitting there thinking to yourself, alright Martin, this breakdown was absolutely amazing, I have the clarity, I know exactly what I need to do to scale my business to 100K per month, but you don't want to spend the next 6 to 12 months figuring it all out, losing a bunch of money, just testing stuff that end up doesn't work 3 months later down the line, and you want me to build it all out, completely done for you. So you only need to fill in content and close deals on your calendar. There's a link in the description where you can book in a one-on-one call with me. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found a lot of value in this breakdown. If there's any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments or just hit me up on Instagram. I just want to let you guys know that recently I lost my main Instagram account, so for now I just have a company page, but don't be afraid to leave any questions there. Now make sure to hit that subscribe button as well, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Peace.